This week, we're examining 3 shorter works that all deal with the development of an individual consciousness, but in a slightly different way than Portrait does. The Legacy and Araby are very readable stories in many senses. They follow a pretty typical narrative pattern and describe events generally as we would expect them to, unlike Portrait's stream of events. They're unique, however, in that they focus upon the development of an individual's consciousness. In Araby, a short story that's part of Joyce's Dubliners collection, the unnamed boy describes how his interests and senses are aroused by his infatuation with his friend's sister, until he comes to an epiphany, a moment of self-realization when he recognizes himself as a creature driven and derided by vanity, which causes his eyes to consequently burn with anguish and anger. We read through this narrator's voice what it looks like to be infatuated by something, and we also get a general perception of the boy's life and the setting through his brief mention of things going on around him. Virginia Woolf's The Legacy also shows how the mind of a character works as it comes to a moment of self-realization. Gilbert Clarendon lives blissfully unaware of much of what makes up his wife's thoughts and existence, and it's only through reading her journals after her death that he comes to perceive the truth behind her death. It's a shocking discovery for him, and it gives us a good picture into how a person's mind processes the slow realization of horrific events. Finally, in Eliot's poem, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, you might find yourself totally lost. There seems to be little rhyme or reason between the narrator's images of etherized patience, women talking about Michelangelo, and mermaids. What Eliot has put together here is a stream of impressions that a man named Prufrock has. Many of them deal with his own insecurity about romance and his thoughts about women as he spends time with them or attempts to win their love. His tone is largely mournful and pessimistic. There's no real love in this tale, but rather the sad absence of it. It's Eliot's attempt to portray the ramblings of a man's mind as he struggles through difficult relationships and the process of aging. I hope that each of these readings will give you a glimpse into a different individual's consciousness and a couple new authors' way of expressing the human mind. After you read them this week, I'd like you to write a short essay explaining what the relationship is between thought, speech, and the written word. You can take this assignment a number of ways. Perhaps you'll focus on the literal connection between the way an individual's mind processes his thoughts from head to mouth to pen. Or maybe you'll discuss the task of the stream of consciousness writer, or perhaps something else I can't even imagine right now. As always, work from a clear thesis, topic sentences, transitions, etc. as you write. You can reference any of the works we've read, none of them, or other works, just as long as you use MLA citations for anything you choose to include. Let me know if you have questions as you write.